Welcome back to another episode of Projecting Grandeur. I'm your host, Ron Dichter. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for being part of this community. We are all about helping entrepreneurs. As I've said before, I believe that entrepreneurs are the people that are changing the world. They're disrupting, they're innovating, they're creating a better life and better innovations for all of us. And while I don't have all the answers, I am an entrepreneur myself. I have started and exited multiple businesses. I've built two businesses to over 9 figures in sales, and anything that I have in my brain that can help any entrepreneur do exactly what they do, which is disrupt, innovate, and change the world, then I'm all about it. I continually bring guests on that will also help with that mission. But today I want to talk a little bit about something that I'm dealing with in my own life and my own business and see if maybe this can help or relate to any of you out there. So just to give you some context and backstory, if you don't know, I recently sold and left my last company a few months ago. I've now started a new business. I'm about 4.5 months into it, and I've made the conscious decision that I'm going to try to build this business remote. And if you've heard me talk over the last, 6, 7 months, I have been a big believer of in-office production. I believe that nothing replaces in-person interactivity, and I still believe that. However, my new business is a software platform, and I live in two small towns, and in both of those small towns, the labor pool is good, but it isn't robust enough that I can build the entire team around technology. And so I've had to start reaching out to outside of my, my geographic area. And as I've started doing that, I've found some really great people that I've added to the team. And I continue to want to do that. But one of the things that I have found to be incredibly challenging is one, the ability to manage the team, build the culture, build the excitement that I'm used to building in an office. But then the second thing that is a little bit different is the world of isolation. I'm a guy that is used to going to the office at 7 in the morning. My team starts coming in. I walk around, to the different sections of the office. I greet them. I say hello. And when you're working remote, you lose some of that, some of that team, some of that culture, some of that, water cooler talk, and you have to really find some internal fortitude to be able to continue to be excited, even though it might just be you. And so I wanted to just talk about some of the things that I've done in my life. And again, I've only been doing this for a little while, so that I'm sure there's people who have become way more experts of working remote, managing remote, and actually managing themselves remote since COVID. But again, this is a new thing for me. And as I've said in the beginning, I'm going to share my journey with you. So let's start first with the building of the culture. So one of the things that I've started doing is a daily morning meeting. Now, I have people working in 4 different time zones. And so trying to find a time that isn't too early and isn't too late has been a challenge. But I've zeroed in on 8 a.m. Pacific, which moves me, through different time zones, getting everybody in before lunch. And I have a team meeting every morning at 8 a.m. Pacific. It's short, it's sweet. It's not meant to be super informative. It's more about a rah-rah, build the culture, any key updates, and just talk to the team and get some FaceTime and have everybody on a video call together. I do require people to be on video. I don't really care where they're located, but I discourage blurred out backgrounds unless it's in your house and it's a known area. But if you're out and about, share it, be a part of it. It's okay. We're embracing working remote. So that doesn't mean you have to sit at your desk at your home. You could be out and about. And, initially people were a little bit hesitant about that. But as we started to do that, it became conversation, icebreaker type conversations. Even me, sometimes I'm in an airplane, sometimes I'm driving. Sometimes I am, in different parts of, the country or sometimes even the world. And it's been kind of fun talking point. So that morning meeting is about 15, 20 minutes. It's really helped build the culture. I also do regularly scheduled one-on-ones with every single person on my team. I'm small enough now that I can do that. And then I have department and cross-department meetings. So I try to really limit the times that I spend on meetings. But what I end up doing is having, a marketing meeting, a sales meeting, and then I have a sales marketing meeting. So that's 3. I have an operations meeting, and then I have an onboarding and support meeting, and then I have 1 collective. So I end up having about 7 meetings in the course of a week, plus my one-on-ones. And so I try to limit my total output of time to about 25% of my time spent in meetings or one-on-ones. So that kind of FaceTime has helped me to keep that camaraderie. Having the the one-on-ones is great, but having when you have cross departments, that's really the key. And what I encourage my team to do when they ask me a question that I know the answer to, but I know that they can get that answer from someone else, I encourage them to reach out to the right person, schedule a time, and start talking to them about that solution. And what that does is it helps foster really that team culture. So that's been helpful. I'm starting to figure it out and getting better at it. Um, the isolation piece has honestly been the hardest part for me. And candidly, this podcast has been really refreshing for me in my ability to talk every day. Again, I'm used to standing in front of my team. I'm used to having an audience, and I'm used to kind of talking about what's happening throughout the day and giving some words of wisdom. And that's I can get some of that in my team meeting. There still are a lot of the hours of the day where it's just me, my computer, and my home office, and I don't have people coming in my office and saying, "Hey, do you got a minute?" And I kind of miss that. So first thing is I have an open door policy in the company, which is weird in remote because there's no doors. And basically what I say is that if you're green, then don't ask somebody if they have time, just call them. You don't have to schedule a meeting. You don't have to say, "Hey, do you have a minute?" If someone's green, call them. If they don't answer, they'll call you back. If somebody is red, then I ask my team, make sure that there are no fake meetings. These are real meetings that you can't be interrupted during. And don't put time blocks on your time schedule. So from the isolation standpoint, though, having where people pop in throughout the day where they'll shoot me a video call, that's been good. But the other part about it is just kind of having my mental state clear and being able to have that interaction. And so one of the things I've started doing since I am working remote now is I try to get out and walk the neighborhood twice a day. It allows me to just get out for 15, 20, 30 minutes at a time. Allows me to talk to neighbors, talk to people that are out and about, and have kind of that social interaction. It also breaks up my day because I don't really take lunch breaks or anything else like that. So I need to have that kind of mental stimulus where I'm talking to people throughout the day. And so as I start to kind of navigate through this isolation, the other thing that I've had to be really mindful of is knowing when to turn it off. Because I work remote now, it's very easy for me to get in my office at 7 and plug away until 7 o'clock at night, have dinner with my wife, and start plugging away some more. So I've really been conscious about being able to unplug for a couple hours a day, so that I can have kind of some freedom to recharge, because you can get burnt out. And again, I think the more you work at home and the more isolated you are, the easier that can become. So again, these are just things that I'm doing in my own business, in my own life, to help navigate through it. But again, many of you might be way more sophisticated at working remote. You might have been doing it since COVID. You might have been doing it since long before COVID. And for me, I'm a few months into this, so I'm learning. And if you do have some great tips, I'd love for you to leave them down in the comment section. Let me know how you're navigating, being able to handle the isolation of working remote. If you're a leader, if you have a team that you're managing, some of your best practices, if you could put them down in the notes below, that'd be great, or the comments below. And we can help learn from each other. So again, not so much, words of wisdom today. Really just wanted to share some things that I'm going through in my own life and my own business. Maybe they can resonate with you. Maybe you're going through some of these same challenges. And together we can become better. We can continue to grow. We can continue to make entrepreneurs at the forefront of helping this world change. So thanks again for tuning in. My name is Ron Dichter. This is Projecting Grandeur. Have an amazing day.